1962, there happened to be a day. Just another sunny, Southern California kind of day. It started easy enough. A typical third grade kind of day for the 7-year-old boy that I was. Then at lunch break, well, I was bullied. Again, it always started the same way. Timothy Turtle. Timothy Turtle wears a girdle. Timothy Turtle wears a girdle. Timothy Turtle, Timothy, escalated from there. I tried not to show it outwardly, but inside I was humiliated. I remember on my short walk home after school, I was consumed with hate. I hated Gary and Larry, my constant bullies. I hated the third grade. I hated my teacher. I hated the whole class. I hated the whole damn school. And then I turned the corner onto the cul-de-sac where I lived. And all that started to fade. Rimview Lane. Now this is a place that I loved so much that it outshone all that hatred I'd just been feeling. We moved around a lot back in those days, but this house was the best. It stood at the very end of the block, a solitary home between two empty lots. And all that remained of the houses that once stood on those lots were their concrete foundations, which gave us kids unrestricted access to what had once been their backyards. Anyway, eventually a massive freeway will replace all of the remaining houses on the street. The whole damn dead-end block will just disappear. They come at night. They take one house at a time, fully intact. My brother, Butch, and I got to see it one night out his bedroom window. Oh, it was like watching a giant house-shaped ship sailing quietly in the dark down the length of Rimview Lane between the streetlights. Oh, magic. Now, obviously, most of the remaining families here on Rimview Lane, they were not happy about the decline of their neighborhood. But me, well, I kind of liked it. I mean, I kind of liked all the empty lots and vacant houses standing here and there. It gave the neighborhood an otherworldly feel, like science fiction, like an episode of The Twilight Zone. Do-do-do-do, 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 do-do-do-do. My best friend, Bob Glessner, and I, we just loved breaking into these forbidden empty houses and just letting our imagination run free. We would turn these spaces into our own intergalactic spaceships, exploring the galaxy together, one planet at a time. First stop, Planet Venus. Well, anyway, on this day that I got bullied, I'm walking home, and I noticed that my father's car is parked in the driveway of our house at the end of the block. Uh-oh. Something must be wrong. You see, my father never came home from work this early. Butcher Tish must be really sick. My mom was acting all crazy again. Anyway, I took a deep breath and trudged down the length of the Rimview Lane, up the few steps to the front entrance, and entered the house. To my surprise, the house was totally calm. No drama unfolding, no crisis in the works, just my mom and my dad sitting on the couch, drinking Pepsi and eating snacks and watching the news. "Hey, kiddo," my dad said. "How's school?" "Oh, it's okay, I guess. What are you doing home?" Hey, ain't you glad to see me? Get out of here." "Nah, just kidding. I am home playing hooky this afternoon from work because I'm going to help your brother finish that fort of his out in the backyard." Oh, the fort. The fort. I had forgotten all about the fort. You see, my older brother Butch, he always wanted to build this fort out in the backyard so that he could have like sleepovers and, mock campouts the way healthy kids got to do for real. Well, if they were going to finish that fort tonight, maybe Butch and I could spend the night out there. Like tonight. Hey, where's Butch? Oh, he's out there working on the fort. I am going to help him in a minute, but we're waiting for President Kennedy. He's going to make some kind of special announcement on the news. I think he's in Texas. Sit yourself down and join us and watch with us, my mother said. Well, I just kind of shrugged, and presidential announcements did not interest me in the least, even though it was St. John F. Kennedy. Well, I went into the kitchen and I looked out into the backyard, and yeah, Butch was out there. The fort was almost done. And Butch was sitting on an upturned bucket, looking very red-faced and out of breath. And yeah, baby John was out there too, sitting blankly in his sandbox. It's starting, Mom said. Well, I sauntered down the hall towards my room to try to make my escape. But on the way, I heard President Kennedy say something about sending a rocket to Venus? Venus? What? No way! Well, that's all I needed to hear. I came back and I plopped myself between my parents and I started to watch. Well, I didn't really understand most of what President Kennedy was saying, but he was definitely talking about space travel, and then he said that they were going to send a man to the moon. To the moon. We choose to go to the moon, he said. We choose to go to the moon and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Is that even possible, my mom said? If anybody can pull it off, John F. Kennedy can. Kitty, they're going to send a man to the moon. That's a hell of a thing. Well, just as the president was finishing his speech, my brother came in from the backyard, and I jumped up because I wanted to be the first to tell him all about the new moon news. But he was having a pretty bad coughing fit, so we waited. And eventually he said, it's okay, I'm all right. The fort is almost done. All we need to do is put the door on and add a latch. Don't you worry, my dad said. You go lay down and take a break. I will work on the fort. By the time you get up, that fort will be done. Done. So does that mean that Butch and I, maybe we could spend the night out there? Like tonight? No, Butch said. Not you. Well, what do you mean not me? Well, why not? Because Kenny Yates is coming over after dinner, and we're going to spend the night out there. Whoa, Kenny Yates, wait a minute. No. You said that you and I would be the first one to spend the night out there. You said that. You promised me. Well, just then, my sister, Patricia, was having her own coughing spell down in her room. It was pretty bad. So my mom rushed down there to try and check it out. And she called back to my dad, Bob, where's John? Go get John, for Christ's sake, Jesus! And off they went. You promised me. I didn't promise you anything. I said we might spend the night out there sometime. I didn't say it was going to be tonight. Quit being such a brat. I am not being a brat. Yes, you are. You're being a brat. I am not. You promised me. It's not fair. It is not fair. I hate you. I wish you were dead. Well, just then, Mom was coming up into the room with Tish in her arms, and Dad was coming in from out back with John in his arms, and everything came to a dead halt. Silence. Uh-oh. Then Butch rushed down to his room, stormed up and slammed his door, and my mom spoke to me with unusual calm. Timothy, sit yourself down, young man. We have to talk. Bob, well, Dad sprung into action. Mom handed Patricia over to him, and with his hands full of baby siblings, he took them off to their room. Then Mom sat next to me, pressing into me. Timmy, Timmy, don't you know that you could never say what you just said to your brother, about your brother? I didn't mean it. I know, you got mad. That happens. People get mad all the time, but you gotta remember, no matter how mad you get, you can never tell your brother that you wish he was dead. Look, you're almost 8 years old. I think it's time you understood what was really going on with your brother and your sister, Patricia. I know, they get sick a lot. I know that. No, honey, it's much worse than that. You see, Butch and Tish were born with a very rare disease. It's called cystic fibrosis. You must have heard us talking about it. I guess. Well, this is a very serious disease. It is very bad. Am I going to get it? Oh, no, honey. You're not going to get it. You have to be born with it. You were not born with it. So you're a very lucky boy. Because there is no cure for this. What do you mean? I mean, they're never going to get better. There's nothing anybody could do. They're going to get sicker and sicker as time goes on. And eventually, they are going to die of cystic fibrosis. Die? When? Nobody knows. Could happen in years, it could be months. So you see why you can never say what you just said to your brother? Well, I tried to wrap my head around this, but people died on TV all the time. I saw them dying all the time, but it didn't mean anything. It was just a story. It was nothing. This was different. This was real. This was scary. Did I? No, I didn't mean. No, I'm sorry. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't, baby, don't be sorry. You have nothing to be sorry about. You're going to be have a long, healthy life and be very, very happy. Okay? Okay? And my mom, she held me up and she took me back to my bedroom and told me to lay down and take a break. She'd call me when dinner was ready. I lay in bed. My mind was racing. I was haunted by this idea of not being here, of nothingness. I fell asleep. I don't know how long. Then my mother's voice, Timothy, come on now, get up, dinner's ready. Oh, I got up feeling like a brain-dead zombie, and dinner was lukewarm Shakey's pizza and ice-cold A&W root beer. Where's Butch? Oh, well, he's still in bed. He's still in bed, you see. His cough is getting worse and he's developing a bit of a fever. So I told him, in no uncertain terms, that there is no way in hell I ain't going to let him sleep out in that cold fort in the condition he's in. He could catch pneumonia, for Christ's sake. So, Timmy, Kenny is still coming over after dinner. Do you want to spend the night out there with him in Butch's place? I mean, I know how much you wanted this, so, you know, if you don't mind being with Kenny, you can. Did I? Did I still? I mean, I didn't, you know, Kenny was Butch's friend, 3 years older than me. I didn't even know him. And to tell you the truth, he was often kind of a jerk to me. Not when the parents were around, though. Oh, God, when the adults were around, Kenny was the sweetest, most polite boy you ever met. Kind of reminded me of Eddie Haskell on the Leave It to Beaver show. Remember that? Well, what about school, I said. Oh, honey, you don't have to go in tomorrow. I will write you a note to take it on Friday. All you have to do is go out there, be yourself, relax, and be happy. Okay? Okay. Well, eventually Kenny did show up. And he went immediately into his sweet, sweet Eddie Haskell routine. My mother just ate it up. She knew good malarkey when she saw it. I think it kind of reminded her of her brothers. But I was still in a daze. Somehow, before long, I found myself out in the fort with Kenny, sitting in my sleeping bag next to him and trying to get my flashlight to work. I couldn't get it to stay on. It just wouldn't work. Kenny grabbed it out of my hand and said, hey, it's broken, kid. Can't you see that? It doesn't matter. I've got mine. Ah, James, stop it. You're blinding me. Kenny, I can't see. Stop it already. Kenny just laughed and laughed. Then he started tickling me, which I hated and liked both at the same time. It went on way too long, and he just slapping his hands away. Kenny, stop it! Stop it, you creep! Stop it! Well, eventually he did stop. And we sat out there in silence for quite a while. Then I heard a train, a distant train traveling far, far away, off to who knows where. Kenny, did you hear what President Kennedy said today? That they were going to put a man on the moon and maybe send rockets to Venus. Well, with that, Kenny sat bolt upright, and he put the flashlight under his chin, creating all kinds of shadows on the corrugated roof above us, and said, "No need to come to Venus, Earthling. We are already here. If we want you on our planet, we will take you there ourselves, one human at a time." Oh, this was perfect. This is exactly the kind of thing I loved. I played along gleefully. Who are you? Are you an alien? Are you going to take me to Venus? My name is Ken Tronic. I am the defender of your planet, or the planet you call Venus. And we may take you there, but first we must make sure you are fit for the long travel distance. We must do a complete examination of your body. Sounds like going to the doctor. We do not know what that is. Now, you must take off all your clothes so that I may do a full examination. Well, that kind of took me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. But hey, nobody out here, nobody could see, so I took off my pajamas and sat there on top of my sleeping bag, wearing nothing, feeling kind of chilled. Then Kenny came close in and stared deeply into my eyes. So close I could feel the heat of his breath on my skin. And his hands were like hovering over me just above my body, just doing that alien examination thing. He's hovering over my shoulders and around my chest and down to my belly, and then, hold on, something is not quite right here. There is an unusual stiffness. I must operate. Well, then his mouth was on me. Startling me, to say the least. But I kind of warmed up to it. To tell you the truth, I had played around down there a bit, even at that young age, with my cousin Cliff. And it was a couple of times, it was okay, but with Cliff, there was always this nastiness about it. He loved being nasty, and it made me feel guilty. I didn't want it to be nasty. I wanted it to feel good. Well, with Ken Tronic, it felt good. I was looking up, and I noticed there was a gap in the corrugation beyond the chicken wire where I could see the night sky, full of stars. Oh, I lost myself in those stars, traveling way out into them, beyond Venus, beyond anything I'd ever imagined. All of a sudden, all the competing voices in my head just went still. All the guilt and shame and feelings of not being right all the time just melted away. I wasn't even me anymore. I was nothing. Nothing but space. Nothing but pleasure. The pleasure of being nothing, being alive, being this, being alive, being nothing, just this, just this, just. Then everything changed, and it was over, as quick as it began. I lay there trying to, catching my breath, and then Kenny said, well, now we have to switch places, and you have to examine me. Well, I paused, briefly. Then I did what he said. It was weird at first, but, after a while I kind of got to like it. I liked it. When it was over, we lay there talking about nothing in particular and not mentioning at all what had just happened, but, for a while I turned over on my side to try to get some sleep, and Kenny moved in and pressed himself against me, and, oh God, I think I slept better that night than I had ever slept in my entire life. Then I heard my mom, Timothy, come on out now, time to get up. Oh, it's morning. Jeez, Kenny's gone, along with his sleeping bag and flashlight, off to school, I guess. Oh my God, I did not want to get out. I just wanted to lay here and bask in this feeling of sweet, untethered emptiness. Always. But Mom was calling. Timothy!